So those who know me best just know me as the church history guy. It's an identity that I have embraced for a while, and since I have aspirations of writing and teaching and things like that, have embraced that identity. So I posted on Facebook earlier that it's not my birthday, but it might as well be, because this came in the mail today. This is the deluxe edition of the long-awaited Puritan movie. I don't want to call it just a movie because there's so much more included in it. So the box is quite nice. It is got this nice photog on the front there. Westminster Abbey. It does have a nice little, almost like a bookend there, and that is actually on both sides. So Puritan, all of life to the glory of God, and that is obviously going to be a recurring theme. I haven't seen this yet. If there's some reacts on this, maybe I'll do a reaction video once I start getting into the actual material, which I wanted to tell myself I would wait on it, but I know me, and so I know that'll be later tonight. The top and the bottom just say deluxe edition, so there's that, and then the back is where we'll start diving into some of the stuff. You have some of my absolute greats here from Perkins. Obviously, I am an Owen and Bunyan fan, and then we've got Sibbs and Sam Rutherford on there. Some of the great names that are in this. Again, it says all of life to the glory of God, featuring, and of course, Moeller, Jeff Thomas, Gloria Furman, J.I. Packer, of course Joel Beakey, John MacArthur, John Piper, Kevin DeYoung, Ligon Duncan, Mark Dever, Rosaria Butterfield, Sinclair Ferguson, Stephen Nichols, and Stephen Lawson. Got the credits done just to give their names out. Matthew Robinson, met him a couple times, fantastic guy, and as well as Stephen McCaskill. And of course we got the media Gratiae, the whole Reformed heritage, and the PTRS stuff on the back here. So with that being said, let's dive in. I am a little upset at myself because it did get a little damaged because I was so excited to get it out of the packaging. So like I said, this would be, if it wasn't for the fact that my birthday was a few months ago, I would call this a birthday present to myself. So as we're going through, of course, we got a couple of space keepers in there. The biggest thing first off is the book. It does have a nice J.C. Ryle quote on the back from the introduction to Manton's works. The Puritans as a body have done more to elevate the national character of any class of Englishmen that ever lived. Ardent lovers of civil liberty and ready to die in its defense, mighty at the council board and no less mighty in the battlefield. Feared abroad throughout Europe and invincible at home, while united, great with their pens and no less great with their swords, fearing God very much and fearing men very little. They were a generation who have never received from their country the honor that they deserve. I love that he says that about them, and maybe that's why I'm so in love with the Puritans themselves, because anyone who studied the Puritans will tell you they got an awful lot wrong, but they got a lot right. And when I read the Puritans, I like to think about how they solve problems and how that can help us in our modern time. So, and then of course we've got the logos at the bottom. So nice spine. I really like this material here. It does have a little bit of sparkle on the top, and then like I said, that slogan which over and over again. So all of life to the glory of God. And I think that's probably what this series gets into. Like I said, I don't know because I opened it for the first time right in front of you, and I will more than likely watch it tonight. This book here has a nice map in there. I love the finish on these pages. So it does offer a resources in the front. The quote that was on the front, or excuse me, on the back, is actually one of the first pages, and then we've got a nice table of contents sectioned out. It looks like they are sectioned by by the subject material rather than by the Puritans themselves. Who were the Puritans? Puritan stalwarts, the triune God and his saving work, a saved and holy people, Christ's bride, Puritans in daily life, and the last things. In modern American churches, we just don't talk about those things anymore, and that just breaks my heart. So I just want to flip through the books, just trying to see. It does look like it's mostly text. The only really pictures I see are the drawings of the Puritans. There's the one of Jonathan Edwards right there. So you can kind of see that it is dedicated to the text itself rather than on rather than pictures and being kind of fluff. I can see as I'm flipping through a lot of the Puritans' works as well as Calvin's Institute. So Puritans carrying on and really doing an application, the theology that was set in the Reformation, and with Reformation Day being next week, that just really hits home, and this is a very timely piece, and I really like that. The next set is the workbook. When we get through, we'll see that some of the stuff is meant to be group study, Bible study, church group, discipleship group, all of which has been a big proponent for me, and those who know me personally know that I recently left the men that I had been working through with for a long time, and that does leave an emptiness, but at the same time, this would be a great one for a group like that. If you're not in a group like that, I definitely encourage it. A group of same-gendered individuals who are on similar walks with God with you. Some more mature, some less mature in the faith. So we are supposed to be disciples who create disciples. And those groups are the best way to do that. So as I'm flipping through this, it does have the same font, the same on there. It does have some space at the bottom. I write small, and there's not a lot of lines here. So you can kind of cater your own writing to that. As I'm looking for the topics here, I'm just seeing some of the topics that I don't see us talking about much in American churches, and I really wish we did. Just as a side note here, one I'm noticing is that we also have a 20th century Puritan. I wish there were more, but we are, it's remarkable that in the 19th century we had Spurgeon carrying on the Puritan tradition, and in the last 100 years we've had Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones doing that work as well. So there are some colored pages here, as well as some resources to read, obviously application questions and what to do with it, like why is this important. I do love that, and I do wish that was a thing that more books did. On the back of it, it does show the names of some of the Puritans, Puritan pastors and influential figures, Perkins, Sibbes, Cromwell, Goodwin, Baxter, Owen, Bunyan, John Flavel, Matthew Henry, does generalize some as the American Puritans, and then there's Puritan-minded figures, so the Dutch Puritans, the Scottish Puritans, and then, as we talked about, Dr. Lloyd-Jones, and then some teachings. Well, we've got the Westminster Assembly, and then many different categories such as politics, culture, paedobaptism, Baptist covenant theology, shepherding, education, marriage, the family. Now, we do have some little inserts here showing what's available. The bottom three there, I haven't actually seen the Matthew Henry one myself, but I have seen Logic on Fire many times. I have also I've seen American Gospel. I know of a couple people that will say that one has changed their lives and their complete outlook on the American church. We have two very excellent books that if you haven't read, I would definitely recommend getting them. Meet the Puritans and A Puritan Theology by Beakey and Jones, and Beakey and Pedersen. So here is a ad for the Puritan store that they have, and it actually includes a discount code on the back. So that is quite nice. So it includes free digital streaming to all of us. So even if I don't have the physical stuff, I can take it with me on a trip or so. Of course, a Puritan Reformed Seminary bookmark. Got plenty of those, so just set that to the side. Got a folded sheet here, and what is this? But this is a movie poster for it, and I love that. So I love that it looks like a movie reel with scenes of the Puritans on there. So we've got some scenes here. So just some cards of, let's see, we've got Wistman's Wood, we've got Peterskirk, we've got Anwoth Kirk, we've got Delfshaven and Emmanuel College. And then, of course, we're getting, stack's getting low, but that means we're getting to the good stuff here. So, Puritan, all of life to the glory of God. And then we've got inside here a little insert saying what is on the DVDs. Of course, the credits for them, and then it's got the 2 DVDs in there. So we're actually going to do that 3 times. And that's the big good stuff. I love that it actually does show not only the names of it, which I'm sure will be on the DVDs themselves, but also who's speaking. Just as an example, let's see, we've got the Puritans on Marriage is Joel Beakey's. It is 18 minutes and 14 seconds. So if you are playing this for a small group, that it makes it to be an excellent one. You've got Jeremy Walker doing 17th century Baptist covenant theology. It's 21, almost 22 minutes long. So I am really enjoying that. It is a complete set. I am very excited, as I'm sure you were not able to tell. I am really liking the way that it was packaged. I'm very happy with everything that it came. 5 stars, 100% fresh. It is exactly what a church history fanatic like me would love, but it is also looks to be broken down enough that just a simple layman would be able to get something out of it. So I would say from your beginning person, student, scholar, lay person, lots of teaching materials here, and it looks to be pretty fantastic. So comment and tell me what you think about it. So if you have an interest in the Puritans, let me know. If you think that there's a different era that would have been better suited for a project like this, let me know that as well. So thanks. I love you, and God bless.